Hi, this is Brandon Schauer, and this is a continuation of my presentation from Snap Summit's Failcon on design failures and how they're a part of success. And this is the bonus number 4 experience hack. To explain that, we talked through 3 other experience hacks, things that could help you improve your chance of commercial success, not technical success, but commercial success as you get your ideas out into the world. We talked through 3 other possible experience hacks. What are experience hacks? They're small things that can really improve the experience of your product or service that doesn't take a whole lot of time. It's stuff that when you realize the situation's there, you can quickly adapt and employ these tactics to really improve your chance of success. Experience hack number 4 is about returning to the customer's context and doing it often. Big question is, how do you actually know your product is going to succeed? And it's really hard in the fog of product development and making decisions. It's really tough to tell what's going to make it really succeed with customers and what's going to prevent it from doing so, what sort of obstacles you've created for yourself. But luckily, someone's done a hell of a lot of research in this. His name is Everett M. Rogers, and he's old school. When people say innovation these days, they're talking this other form of innovation. He's old school innovation, looking at terms like, innovations like email, like the Walkman, like basic new technologies, basic new ideas, and how they got adopted throughout society, throughout a market to be something that's successful. And he has really gone from a very analytical approach and looked at what are the factors that contribute to an innovation, a new idea getting adopted in a market in society. And these are the 5 things that he found that really drove the adoption. Relative advantage. Is it better than what was there before? Compatibility. Is it something that works with the other things that the user expects it to work with? Their value system, the experiences they have, the needs they have. What about complexity? Is it too complex to understand? Trialability. Can I actually try it out? And observability. Can I see someone else using it and see why it's so useful? It's fun to think through things like Google Wave and whether it actually addresses all 5 of these really well, or if it's really just kind of strong maybe towards the bottom edge of these. But think through the solutions you're creating and decide whether you're really addressing each of these 5. What are some tactics, though? What are some experience hacks to help you address these kind of things quickly? Well, what you're really looking for is the ability to get your solution, the customer, and the customer context all together in the same situation. So the customer is in their environment, in the situation they might actually use this in, and put your solution there. And start learning, are the 5 factors we just talked about, are we addressing them all in the situation where someone would come across this new idea and they'd be able to trial or actually use or adopt this new idea? One approach to this, we're going to talk about 2, but the first approach to this is I like to call use of concept. And the best example from this actually comes from San Francisco. And it's for really addressing when you don't understand what the consequences are when you put this thing into use. So rather than having a technical proof of concept, this is a use of concept. Let's see what happens when use really happens. So this is an intersection at Market and Castro Street in San Francisco. And the big question was, what happens if we put a park right here where these streets are? Well, when you think about government decisions, bureaucracies, years and years it takes to get decisions like this through, you realize it's going to be such a long time creating the solution because, well, you've blocked off this traffic. Do you block it off for just cars or also the train traffic that's coming through? These people down here probably are going to hate it because they're going to think all that traffic is going to start coming down their residential street. But what about these businesses? They want foot traffic. Is the park going to increase or actually diminish the amount of foot traffic? Same goes for that business right there. What about all the traffic going through here, here, and here? Or will that traffic going through there annoy the people who might use the plaza normally? All these questions are out there and they're hard to answer, and they're probably not things you're going to legislate. So the really great idea that came out of San Francisco city government is, let's skip the process and just try it out and see what happens. So they fabricated at that intersection a really cheap, really simple version of the plaza. You'll notice this isn't actual brick down there. They just painted the concrete a different color, bought some chairs and tables, I believe, off of eBay or Craigslist or something like that, put up some portable planters, things that didn't cost a whole lot of money. They didn't do landscape architecture here. They just grabbed some materials, fabricated what it would look like, and then started to see, hey, will people actually use this? And so far, lo and behold, it actually is true. They called this a reversible prototype, said, hey, we're going to try it for 3 months, see if it works or not. If it doesn't work, we're going to pull it all back up. So far, it's shown that it has worked, and they've actually said, okay, we're going to reinvest it in this park and extend it for another period of time. Had they failed, they would have just reversed it back to what there was before, and minimal investment for a heck of a lot of learning. Second approach you might use is dry run of one. This helps you put, again, you, your customer, and the customer's context all in the same situation. This comes from a project where we were following a very detailed, rigorous process with lots of pieces and parts and lots of steps along the way to help the customer and the business ultimately get to their big goal at the end. And it was so convoluted and so complex, and there's so much terminology involved, and we were way down in the weeds like over here, that we realized we've lost the customer perspective. Despite having good research or good experience principles to help guide us along the way, we just kind of lost that fresh eyes that a new customer coming to a problem really has. So instead of waiting for usability testing or anything like that, we just stopped the project for a day. We recruited a user and had them come in and just quickly look at our ideas wherever they stood and said, hey, how does this feel to you? What's too complex? What doesn't make sense? What would you not engage in? And got their ideas immediately and regained that sense of freshness of how real people are going to look at the problem. So simply the formula for doing this is recruit a target user. You really need to nail it in terms of finding someone who meets your profile of who the customer is you want to serve. Second, you want to stop working and watch them walk through the experience. And the big instruction here is tell them to think out loud so that you get every nuance of what they understand, what they don't understand, what feels clear, what doesn't. That's the richness that you're going to get. When you get statements like, I never would have gotten that, or, oh, I'd never click there, or this never would have happened for me. Those are the really rich things that can shape what you do. But here's the crazy thing. Half of the time, you're going to know the answer before you put that little wireframe or sketch or screen in front of people, because you suddenly have an appreciation of their point of view. So it's just helpful for thinking through from their perspective. And then step number 3, just listen. Listen like crazy and build notes, and then figure out which are the design changes you need to make so that you can go back to designing, to implementing, and then maybe stop a little bit while later and try another dry run of one if you felt you've lost that empathy and that understanding for what the real world user is really going through. So both of these techniques help bring about this model that we talked about before, that really instead of designing from the inside out, you need to have that ability to design from the outside experience back into what the user interface, the logic, the data, how is it all being presented, how is it all going to work to make for a successful project. So these have been our 4 experience hacks. Get empathy into your business, define the experience customers will have lots of ideas in the right places. Those 3 we discussed at Failcon. And then third, right now, the bonus one, return to the customer context and do it often. We said these were great ideas because of this simple model we use to talk about the value of your product, your idea today. You still have to overcome 2 big hurdles. 1, technical chance of success, and second, that commercial chance of success. And these hacks help you address cheaply, effectively, tactically, the ability to improve your chance of commercial success. But don't think of this as a process flow here. This is just a math or a logical diagram. In fact, most of these experience hacks help you change the order of things so that you can get more of that commercial probability, improve your probability up front so that you're investing in really smart technical work, smart implementation work, so that you're developing the right product, so that when you get to technology, you can develop the right product in the right way. So, our 4 experience hacks, a little short cheat sheet of how it makes it happen, and my wish is that you'll use these, apply these, and help get really great experiences out in the world. Thanks.